Hey everybody, Adam here with Hometown Acres. Welcome back. Today is the day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday, and instead of being out shopping looking for crazy discounts, we're going to be out here trying to further along our progress on this equipment building. I finally decided what I want to do with the stain on this. Let me show you. So in the last video, I mentioned I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with the stain because some of this building is rough sawn, some of it is store-bought. All of the posts, beams, and fascia board are all rough sawn off of the sawmill, and it's still green lumber. However, everything that is the roofing material, so the trusses and the purlins and the wall girts and the diagonal bracing, that is all store-bought kiln-dried lumber. So I think instead of trying to decide if I want to stain it now and worrying about staining it before all of the lumber is dry, or not staining it, putting the metal tin roofing on, and then having to worry about trying to not get stain on the underside of the metal tin roof, I think I'm going to do a compromise. I'm going to try to stain the entire roof section that is all kiln-dried store-bought lumber, and then we'll come back in the spring and stain all of the green lumber that we milled on the sawmill ourselves. However, being that it is the day after Thanksgiving, it is about 34 degrees out right now, so not ideal conditions for staining. So we're just going to see what we can do to keep the project moving here. I think what I want to do is head down to the sawmill and start milling up our siding boards. Like I said, I think we're going to do board and batten on the side walls, and maybe we could at least get a start on the side walls today. My plan is I'm just going to mill and bring the lumber up here and tack it on as we get it milled. Before we can get to work on the building though, I want to take care of this eyesore that I've been looking at. This is all of the trees and saplings and things that were in the way where we did the clearing for the building up there. And I want to get all this burned up. Shouldn't be too much of a risk of catching the woods on fire today. We've had about 2 inches worth of rain in the last week or so, so the ground is still very wet and muddy. The biggest threat would be all the leaves that are on the ground. They should still be wet, but I am going to take a little extra precaution here and grab the leaf blower and just blow all of these leaves into the pile. So hopefully, there's a bit of a fire break between here and the woods and the new building we're just working on putting up. All right, let's go ahead and get this show on the road. Today we're using my favorite accelerant, holiday shopping cardboard. And to start it, we're going to be using this propane cooking torch. I absolutely love this little thing. I always leave a link in the description if anybody wants to get one of these. I always use it more for starting fires than I do cooking, which is what it was intended for, but it works great as a fire starter. I got the excavator on standby in case we need to do some restacking here, but looks like everything's under control for now. And that right there is why I blew all those leaves in. So I've got a fire break around because you can see it's wanting to spread out. Once it burns through that little pile of leaves there, it should stop. Now a lot of this stuff here was green. It's only been down for 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks. But you get a good hot bed of coals going in there, you can throw anything in there, it'll burn. Well, I think we've got that folded in pretty well, a much smaller pile than what we started with. I'm gonna let that burn down a little bit. Let's head down to the sawmill and get started milling some siding. All right, so we just finished up with that first log. We're gonna take it up to the building and the side-by-side, but it looks like we got some visitors coming.
Hi!
What's up?
It's time to take family photos.
That's right, we got the in-laws here. I'm hiding out down at the sawmill.
Christmas photo time.
Yeah, we got to take some family photos for our Christmas card. What are you riding there?
My new e-bike from HovCo.
Yeah, that's HovSco. If you guys saw 2 or 3 months ago, we went on vacation. They sent us some 26-inch fat tire e-bikes, and that's the one thing that a lot of people say the very first time they see them in person is just how big they are. I mean, they're a massive bike. And Lana, you're 5'6",
5'5".
5'5", and it was a really big bike for you. I mean, you were able to ride it and we got around, but yeah, HovSco sent another one for Lana, and this one has 20-inch tires on it, which is a little bit more manageable for you. Plus, the really cool thing about this one is, as you can see, it's got a bike seat on the back for Anderson. So this bike seat is an accessory from HovSco. It's actually pretty cool. You can see he's got little foot floorboards there, a padded seat on the rear with plenty of room, and he's fully enclosed here with these wraparound bars. So he's got something to hang on to as well. I think that might be my favorite bike seat I've seen for a kid.
Yeah, it's nice. Do you like the bike, Anderson?
Yeah.
So yeah, this thing's pretty cool. So for any of you guys that are a little bit smaller in stature and you want an e-bike that's a little bit more manageable, this one here is the HovCart from HovSco. All right, before we get too crazy tacking up siding, let's go ahead and get our treated bottom band boards on that our gravel will backfill up to. That's going to prevent snow and wind from drifting in underneath the wall girts on the building. Well guys, if you ever wanted to know how much siding you can get out of one log, it's going to largely depend on the size of the log. But this is one log here. It was 16 inches on the large end and 13 inches on the small end. And we are milling 1x10s, and then our batten strips are 1x2s. So all of the boards and all of the batten in this section that's done right here was from one log. And I think it works out to, it's 10 feet from this post to that post. So we're probably somewhere between 8 and 9 feet. Here's what it looks like coming from the other direction. This should give you a pretty good idea of what the walls on the outside of the building are going to look like. Shadows from the trees right now are kind of making it hard to get a good idea, but I think you guys get the picture. Board and batten siding, we've all seen it before. Nothing new here. And then this is what it looks like on the inside. If you're not familiar with rough sawn lumber, the whole reason people do board and batten is because we're hanging this green. And so you can see there's a little bit of a gap from any wave that was in the sawmill on those boards. Plus, as this lumber dries, because now it's hung up and going to be getting sun and wind, it'll actually shrink. So it could shrink, you know, anywhere from a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch, which is why you do a 1x2 to cover that gap. And even as it shrinks, it'll never expose it to sunlight. You'll never see sun poking through there. But yeah, guys, it's starting to feel real. We're starting to get this building closed in. I'm going to continue working on this. This has been such an enjoyable, rewarding project to work on, largely because a lot of the lumber that we're using here is milled ourselves. But it's really rewarding to go down to the sawmill, mill up a couple logs, and bring them up here and immediately use them. You just don't get that when you buy it from the big box store. As far as getting the roof on, I mean, I'd like to get that done as soon as possible. It's borderline warm enough today. I mean, they say you shouldn't stain in anything under 50 degrees. I think it's like 43 today. I almost thought about doing it, but I don't want to get impatient and ruin it. So we're still going to have at least another 50-degree day here before winter really sets in. So that's the plan. Is I'll keep picking away at the board and batten siding here. And as soon as we get a day that we can get the roof stained, we're going to get that stained, let that sit for a day or two, and then start throwing the metal roofing on. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, give me a big thumbs up, click that subscribe button, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.